Hello everyone, Stjepan here. Today I have a special guest on the video. This is Matej, my friend, teammate and coach, my chess coach. And we are at Mali Lošinj today. We came yesterday, and today was the first round of the finals of the Croatian Cup. And our team won on all 4 boards, which is very exciting. And Matej and I are going to go over my game today. Our teammates are Livaić, who is a very promising international master, soon to be a grandmaster, Vujaković and Brumen, who are both international masters, Matej, who is a FIDE master rated 2300, and me, I'm not yet a title player, and I'm here partially by mistake, and because some players couldn't make it to the tournament, but it's still a great honor. And we were playing against chess club Šibenik, which is a town in Croatia. They were higher rated only on my board, on board 4. My opponent had 1922, I was 1790. And on the first 3 boards, our guys were much higher rated and expected to win. So if they want to, we are going to go over their games as well, but for now, we are going to go over mine. And Matej is going to help me analyze. We are not going to use the engine, we are only going to turn it on at the end of the video to see where we went wrong. Can we start?
And please mention that we had very good preparations in morning.
Yeah, you should talk about the preparation.
For both opponents.
Okay. Talk about the preparation. Tell them how we prepared.
When we saw name of the opponent, we first went on Chess DB and saw his games. We went through each move of every of opponent's games, and we tried to find some mistakes or some weaknesses that he has. And after that, we prepared variations.
Well, we prepared variations which none of us have played before. Matej played against the Grunfeld defense, and he played Queen B3 line. If you don't know it, I'm sorry, but that's a line in the Grunfeld, and he never played it before. And I was playing against C4, the English, and I played C6, which I've only played once before, and you can enter 20 different openings. But after our preparation, both our games went exactly as we planned, and our preparation was very useful, and our opponents couldn't have known that we prepared this well. Okay, let's go over the game. So my opponent played C4, I played C6, and against D4 I played the Caro-Kann, so this is what I like the most. And if he plays E4, then we are in the hillbilly or whatever that is called. I will play D5 and get transposed into the Caro-Kann. And if he plays D4 like he did here, after D5 we are in the Slav Defense, which I play against D4. So I was already comfortable here. And he played D3. This is what we prepared, the quiet variation of the Slav. Usually, I mean, it's not bad. There are some strong players who are playing it, but he's only 19-something.
Okay,
Yeah.
we were thinking here if to play knight f6 or bishop e5, and we decided to play knight f6.
Yeah, we were talking about the move bishop to f5, and whether I should go for the common Slav plan of a6, b5, c5, or simply develop the bishop, because I have time to do it. It's not a losing position, but Matej, who is my friend and my coach and much higher rated than me, 600 points, he advised me to enter the position which I know best, which is the semi-slav or the Meran position. So I played knight to f6, and at this point there really isn't too many moves which I wouldn't know how to respond to. So he played knight to f3, I played d6. Once again, I could play bishop to f5, I could even play bishop to g4, and both are okay moves. None of them are losing or anything. But I played d6, and now just playing my passive semi-slav, and I know all the plans. So I won't go into too much detail about the following moves. Only a3, which is it's a very double-edged move and a very dangerous move, because usually in the Slav defense black has problems with the bishop on c8. So if I want to develop the bishop, since I play d6, I'm going to have to play c5 and somehow develop it to the b7 square. And if white achieves b4, then c5, then I can't play c5. So I was already scared that he's going to play, after I played knight b to d7, that he's going to play b4 here. But then I was going to play bishop d6, rook to e8 after castling, and play for e5. So I thought it was okay.
Okay, but we have to mention that a3 move that move is not necessary, because white could play knight c3 and black wouldn't play bishop b4. So a3 is...
No, a3 isn't because of bishop b4. It's preparing b4.
For b4.
b4
But again, you need...
because b4 is stopping c5.
But again, white has to play knight c3 in
some point. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So I played knight b to d7. I didn't care about his move a3. I decided to improvise afterwards because I really didn't know this position after a3. He played knight to c3. I played bishop to d6. And I wanted to play bishop to e7. But then I played bishop to d6 because we prepared that line, and usually, if we hadn't prepared, I don't know which move I would have chosen. I think I would have played bishop to d6 anyway, because it's slightly passive on e7, but during the game, the fact that the bishop was on d6 created some problems for me.
Bishop on d6 is better than bishop on e7, because of e5.
I know it's better because of e5, but then if he manages to play b3, bishop b2 takes here and pushes e4 and...
Okay, but also you, when your bishop is on d6, you have, in some moments, you have queen e7.
Yeah, I know.
When it is needed, and also attack on h2.
Yeah, I know it's better, but... it's not common in this setup. Usually in my semi-slav setup, the bishop is on e7, and that's what I know best. That's why I wanted to play bishop to e7, but this is better. I agree, and that's why I played it in the end. He played bishop to e2, which is okay. He could have played bishop to d3 also, and now in the normal semi-slav without a3, I would immediately take on c4, he would take with the bishop, I would play b5, he would move the bishop either to e2, d3 or a2 something, and then I would immediately play a6 and c5. But in this position, if I go for that line, okay, I will show you just for a moment. Okay, this is what I was afraid of. Let's say this, and now he would have the move b4, and my bishop is dead for the rest of the game. I can't really play e5.
But you have a5. A5 is...
Okay, I have those two squares, but that doesn't really... I didn't think much of these squares.
Yes, and if you remember, if he plays bishop d3, then you take on c4.
Yeah, I know.
But if he plays bishop e2, then you don't take.
I know. Yeah, I remember that line.
Yes.
And then I wanted him to castle after this move, and I played a6. Which is now preparing d takes c, and I thought, regardless of the fact that the bishop was on e2 after castling, that this has to be the best move. The engine will say whether I was correct or not, but I think taking was correct, and
I think it wasn't, because because on d c4 white should play e4, and then you can't play e5 because it and queen e8, black queen on d8.
But if I take on c4, he plays e4, can't I just play
no, e5.
Okay, I'm losing a piece. Oh, okay.
So takes, queen, and bishop c4, and I think white is here better.
White is better.
Because of that reason, you should play with king castle.
Okay, so instead of after castling, I should have castled.
Yes. Because if his bishop is on d3, then this c4 is great. It is okay.
Yeah, okay, I know. But because this isn't a tempo on the bishop. Yeah, I know. So he can play e4. Okay, yeah, you are correct, and I knew that, but okay, wait. So this e4.
But okay,
he made a mistake. Okay. So now it's irrelevant whether the bishop was here or here after he takes. Now I'm just better, but okay, he could have played e4. Okay, wait, but after e4, I have to play e5. Yes. I don't have anything else. Can I play bishop c7?
Maybe bishop e7. Bishop e7, but bishop d6, bishop e7 is strange.
I know, but I have a strong center, and I actually wouldn't mind this position. I don't know, we will see, the engine will say. But anyway, after dc4 he took with the bishop, which is now transposing to the main line, except for the fact that his bishop should be on g5 or on h4. So he now has an inferior position because of the bishop. That's what I thought, because this is the exact same line, but the bishop is on g5 or on h4. So after this, you play b5, chasing the bishop away, and now immediately c5, because if I don't play c5, then he's going to play b4, and I will have to play a5, and the position will get complicated.
I think b4 is not problem, because a5 is too strong. If he takes on a5, then his pawn on a3 is catastrophic. And if he doesn't take, for example, rook b1, you can play.
Okay, let's say I played
queen
bishop.
a7.
Let's say I played bishop
Okay,
to b7.
before
Okay.
f5, rook b1,
Why would he play rook to b1?
because pawn is attacked.
Okay, wait.
And it is problem for white.
Can he play queen to b3?
Queen e7, and black is better.
Black is
Clear.
better. Okay, I agree. But,
So before is yes.
but okay,
before
still,
is
how
no
do I
problem.
develop my bishop?
After you take on b4 twice, you will play
c5 and
in
sacrifice a
one
pawn.
moment, yes. In one moment.
Okay, but anyway, I played c5 immediately, which I don't think is worse than bishop to b7. I think it's an okay move.
Also, castle was better than c5.
Okay,
I think c5 is maybe a little bit too rush, too hard.
oh, okay. I just wanted to develop my bishop, and the only thing that I was worried about c5 was him playing d5. And here I was planning to take. I thought he would take with the knight, I would castle, and if he plays this or takes, then my bishop is defended by the queen, so I wasn't worried about that. And I thought this position was great
Yes,
because
it
I
is
was
okay.
going to play
It is okay.
c4 and... So this I was worried about d5, but this was the only move I thought. I thought this was the best for him, but I don't know. But anyway, after c5 he took. I took with the bishop. I can also take with the knight, but I don't like my knight on c5.
And again, before, and you have to
Yeah.
move knight on e4.
Before bishop e7, this is where I spent my first serious thinking time. I spent about 10 or 15 minutes on this move because I wasn't sure whether I wanted a completely symmetrical position. You can see our pawn structures are identical and our bishops would be identical if I played bishop to a7. The only difference is that my knight is better than his, in my opinion, because I always have this plan. And this is in fact why I think this is why I won the game. But okay, but so the position would be completely identical except that my knight is on d7, his is on c6, on c3, and I wanted to win the game, so I didn't want to make it symmetrical. And I played bishop to e7, and the main reason for that is because after bishop to b2, my knight is defended, and I think I have more control in the center, and I'm going to play bishop to f6 at some point.
It is okay.
So okay, he played bishop to b2, bishop b7, queen to e2. Now he's threatening to play rook to d1, which isn't really a threat because I was planning to play queen to b6. Anyway, queen to b6, he played e4 here, and this was the critical moment in the game where I knew that he has one logical move, which is rook a to c1, and after rook a to c1, he doesn't have a single move. And if he wants to prove that he is almost 200 points higher rated than me, then he has to attack. And his only plan of attack was e4. And now I was calculating this position. e4, which he did play. I would play rook f to d8, which I did play. And now, of course, if he pushes e5, then I take on f3. And he will have to take with the g-pawn. I will show you what I was calculating. So e5, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight to e8.
No.
Yeah, look, wait. Look for my
Knight on
idea.
h5.
Wait. Let's say rook to c1. I was going to play this. Put the knight on f5, and my knight is a monster on f5.
Okay, but you can.
Okay, give me a move for white after knight to e8.
You can have same position with knight h5, g6, knight g7.
But
okay.
why would I do that? What's the difference?
Because knight is better on h5. You have a possibility for knight f4.
For f4. Okay, you are correct.
So,
of course, you are correct. You are 600 points higher rated than I am. But never mind. After rook f to d8, he didn't play e5, which I thought was critical. He played h3, which I thought was a horrible move. This move just doesn't make any sense. It's stopping knight to g4, which isn't a threat at all, because f2 is defended, and I really thought this move was a waste of time. So I played rook a to c8. Now all of my pieces are perfect. And my plan started to come into my mind. I wanted to play knight to e5. And I wanted to play knight to c4 if he doesn't react. Of course, after knight to e5, whatever he does, I would take the rook and then play knight to c4, which I thought was a good plan. Here he played knight to e1, which is another pretty weird move because he can't play f4. The pawn is pinned. So I didn't see the purpose of that. I thought it was just a waste of time. Perhaps he was in this position. He was preparing e5, and after he plays e5, I can't take with the bishop. But still, it's a waste of time because I don't have to play. First of all, I don't have a normal move. All of my pieces are good. What do I play? Can you find 2 moves for black?
Maybe a5 in some moment.
Okay, but why? There's no point. I don't want to weaken b5.
And maybe rook c3.
I wanted to play rook to c7. And rook to c3 I didn't like, because if rook c3...
knight e4.
Okay. Then doesn't have anything.
Okay. Bishop d4.
Bishop d4.
Queen c6. Knight c3. For example.
But what do I have in this position?
Queen g4. And white is better. Okay.
White is better.
Knight f6. Knight f6.
Bishop takes.
Okay. Bishop takes.
And white is better.
And black is better, maybe.
Why is black?
What is your move?
I just took for white. My move for white.
I want to play knight e2. Check.
I know I want to play knight to e2.
And this knight is very good on this.
I would play bishop to b1, probably.
Okay. Knight e2. Knight
yeah,
e2.
I'm losing the rook. Wait. Okay, can I play rook to c2?
Okay.
Okay, let's call it an equal position.
Yes.
Okay. But never mind. So after rook a to c8, which was my move, he played knight to e1. And I played knight to e5.
The best move.
And here I knew that this was good because I'm threatening knight to c4 and he has to react. I stopped e5. He can't play f4, of course, because the pawn is pinned. And he has to take. He has to go for this tactic, taking the pawn here, because he has to trade his e pawn for my a pawn, which I thought must have been better for me. And after this, I can take with the pawn. And I can take with the queen. If I take with the queen, we have to trade queens. And of course, after queen takes, bishop takes. So this was... He will get the piece back. It's not a piece sacrifice. And I didn't want to take with the pawn because I thought that this position would be better for him because he could defend the a3 pawn easier. And in the position which we got in the game...
Okay, but you can play bishop e4 after a b5. Because bishop f6 and...
Oh yeah, okay, I have to take with the knight.
Okay.
Whatever, I think this position would have been okay, it doesn't matter, I would have taken with the knight, of course.
I think if our king is safer than the white king, and I think he is, then we shouldn't change queens.
I agree with you, but let me show you the position which we got in the game. Knight takes b5, queen takes b5, queen takes, a takes, bishop takes knight, and bishop takes e4. Now, I played knight to e5 in the first place because I wanted to target the a3 pawn. This was my plan. And I didn't see how he can target b5. And there's just no way for him to attack my pawn, because these bishops will have to get traded off on the d5 square. Inevitably. Because if they don't, I'm going to play bishop f6 and play knight to d5 and just be better. This is what I thought. And I have both files. Whatever he does, I'm in more control. So here he played f3, which I thought was a horrible move, just weakening his king and giving me the opportunity to play what I wanted to play anyway. This is what I wanted to play. And now, of course, if he takes the knight, he can't take the bishop because I take the rook. So that doesn't work. So after bishop to d5, he had to take the bishop. Bishop takes d5. Of course, knight takes d5. And now nothing can remove my knight from d5. And now all I have to do is chase the bishop away or somehow find a way to play bishop to g5, bishop to c1 and win the game.
And attack a3 pawn.
And attack the a3 pawn. Yes. That's why I traded queens. I didn't want to checkmate him, I just wanted to take the a3 pawn because I knew that was winning. So at this point I was sure that I was winning. I don't know what the angel will say, but let's see. So rook a to c1 was played. A rather logical move, but I think it's a bad move because I have bishop to g5. And now I think I'm just winning, because if he takes my rook, I have the c file and I have control and I'm going to attack a3. If he doesn't take my rook, I'm going to be simply better. I think he has to take, and I always have some checks here. I have the option to play bishop to f4 even. Of course he can't play f4 because I just take. It's attacked twice. So he took the rook, rook c8, rook c8. He played knight to d3, which I thought was just horrible. Just a bad move, I don't know why. Of course he's threatening f4, so if I play something normal, let's say I play rook to c2, then he plays f4 and he's better.
Yes.
So, of course, I interpose this check, and now this is with tempo, so I get to play this, and now I play f6, gaining another tempo, and now this is the position in which he has to decide whether he's going to get checkmated or lose the pawn. And now, if he doesn't keep his bishop on a1, he's losing the pawn. There's nothing he can do. And if he does move his bishop to a1, I'm going to play rook to c2. So, could you find a better move? What do you think is the best move?
But where is checkmate? Where is checkmate?
No, I was joking. I'm okay. I'm going to play rook to c2 and put a lot of pressure on the g2 pawn and win in a few moves. So
white,
you would play.
White simple doesn't have any move.
Okay, but what would you play with white here?
Bishop b2, for example.
Bishop b2. Okay, rook to c2.
Rook b1.
Rook b1. That's a very active move.
Knight c5. Oof. Yes, catastrophe.
So that's what I was calculating. That's why I saw that he had to. After f6, he couldn't do that. He played bishop to d6, which is okay, but now I win the pawn. I play rook to c3. He played bishop to c5, and I was worried about this. Okay, let me show you what I was worried about. But for 5 seconds, then I calculated it. So rook a3, bishop takes, knight takes, rook here, but he can't take my pawn because the knight is hanging, so he has nothing. So after rook c3, bishop c5, I took on a3. He played knight to e1 once again. A stupid, I'm sorry, it's not a stupid move, it's a bad move, because now I take on c5 and play rook to c3, and now he's losing the pawn. And there's pretty much nothing he can do. He played knight to d3 defending, but I can just push b4, b3, b2, and at some point he will either have to trade the pawn or lose the pawn. At this moment, he can't move the knight, he can't move the rook. He can play with the king. So I decided to give him a bit more time and played king to f7, because I want to be able to catch the pawn with the king if something goes wrong. So now I was sure that he can't win. There was nothing he can do. So this was a bit of a sadistic move, but I thought it was good. So now knight to f2 was played, and I can just take the pawn.
Yes.
But here he was threatening. Here he is threatening to play knight to d6, so I have to be careful. And I can play rook to c2, and after knight to. Okay, let me show you what I could have played. Rook to c2, knight d6, king g7, knight takes. I can play this, but it's not that clear.
Rook, or rook g2 also.
Or rook to g2, yeah, bravo. That's why you're better. Okay, so yeah,
and
2 pawns
it's simple to win.
It's a simple win, yeah, okay. So, but I didn't want to do that. After knight to e4, I just decided to get behind the pawn and have a safe conversion, so I played rook to c6, and he can't do anything. Rook a1, king to g6, and I don't know what he's supposed to play. Rook a7, f5, chasing the knight away, knight to d2, rook to c2, and now I decided to convert. And here in this position I was calculating one variation. I didn't think he would play knight to d4. He played knight to d4, which is the most obvious move. But I wanted him to play king to g3. And I was going to play e5, rook a6 check, king to h5. And I wanted to have this checkmate, but he didn't play that. Unfortunately. So after knight to f4, he played knight to d4. Now, of course, my rook is hanging, one of my pawns is hanging, so it looks slightly dangerous for me, but it really isn't. Rook g2, king h1, rook to g3. I'm going to take the pawn with check. h4, king to f6. You said that you don't understand this move?
Yes, why?
Because he's going to play rook a6 at some point. And I wanted to... Okay, let me show you what I wanted. I wanted to take here, take on h4, play rook to h6 and then play rook to g6 and have this pawn, this square.
Okay, but
you will see that in the game.
Okay, but this pawn on e6 it doesn't matter, because if he loses his last 2 pawns, it is.
I know, but I still wanted to defend everything. If he ever takes on b5, then I take here. So, and it's completely winning. If I ever decide to move my knight, then this pawn is defended. And the knight is dangerous, and if my king is locked down behind all of these pawns, he can checkmate me. I found one checkmate for him at some point. I could have made a mistake. So that's why I wanted to defend everything. But anyway, rook to a6 was played. And now I would have had to play king to f6.
Okay.
So this was a prophylactic move. Rook h3 check, rook takes h4, he took on b5 here. I played rook to h6, and this is why I wanted to move my king. Because
it's a very strange move. Okay.
No, it's not. I will show you why.
It is prophylactic, okay, but it is very strange.
Okay, now after knight to c7, I play rook to g6 check with tempo. And after king f1, I play h5. And how can he stop my pawn? That was the point. But he had some idea. So rook to a8, h4, knight to e8 check, king to g5, knight to d6. Of course, now if I ever play this, then he takes my rook. So I can't do that. I played h3, and after rook to h8, now once again, if I play rook to h6, then I can lose the exchange, so I have to be careful. So I played king to f6. Now if he checks me, then I just play king to e7, and he can't do anything. I'm going to play rook to h6. So rook h4 was played, and I think this was just the losing move because I wanted to play e5 anyway. I don't know. I don't know what he wants to do that. Why he wanted to do that. Knight to b5, rook to g3, knight to d4. He tried this, but this is in fact even more winning for me because I just take, and after rook takes f4, I have king to e5. Now this, I played g5, and he resigned. Now of course, if he plays king to f2, then I take here, and my rook is defended. So he should have resigned sometime around here, I guess. I think I would have resigned here later, because but not I would have resigned here, but it doesn't matter. So okay, we were playing against a lower rated team on all 4 boards except on mine, and I was very happy to play in the first place because our board 1 is 700 points higher rated than me. I'm the lowest rated player on the tournament, and it's an honor to play in the same team with Matej because we are in the same club, HAŠK Mladost, but he is in Team A, I'm on Team B, and he's playing in the 1st Croatian League. I'm playing in the 5th Croatian League. You could have seen my games on the channel. And so I'm very happy. I won the game, we won as a team, and tomorrow our board 1 is most likely playing Vasily Ivanchuk, so who is playing for HAŠK Zagreb, Chess Club Zagreb.
It will be a great game.
It will be a great game, and we are going to analyze it with Leon, who will hopefully win. Okay, see you sometime tomorrow afternoon. Thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned for more chess.
Bye.